Procrastination is a self-sabotaging habit that we have all experienced in our life at some point in time. And it's also a phase that normally goes away. But what if you are stuck in a trap where it has now become a lifestyle? Hi, my name is Evette Rose, author and founder of Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a book of 679 medical ailments and the hidden emotional messages behind them that we all share universally. And welcome to today's talk about procrastination and also creative ways to beat it. Now, procrastination is something that we all can probably relate to. Right? It's when you suddenly find yourself, more attracted to washing the dishes rather than doing your tasks. Or it could also be doing something more pleasurable instead of doing things that are less pleasurable, which of course can lead to delays in completing important tasks, if not fall behind on your schedule, and perhaps even missing meeting deadlines or important deadlines. And this can be professional or it can be personal. Now, in some cases, procrastination can also be a sign of, say, an emotional disorder, meaning there actually could be a connection to procrastination, such as having anxiety, low self-worth, and also self-defeating type of mentality. And it can also be connected to lack of self-confidence. Or in my case, it's really just disliking a specific kind of task. Now, here's the interesting part. Normally, the reason why we procrastinate is that we have negative feelings associated with executing a certain task. Now, the negative associations that we have with doing something has a starting point, meaning something unpleasant may have taken place while doing something specific, or it could also just be long-term stress that has now finally taken its toll while you were trying to execute certain tasks. You see, procrastination here can also even kick in when a certain gender gives you instructions, because it could subconsciously activate a childhood stress that you experience with either your mother or your father figure. Could be a female figure also, for example, that had some level of influence over you, or a male figure, such as a caretaker, a teacher, a mentor. It doesn't always have to be a parent. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we often procrastinate doing something because we have a negative association with the action, with the activity, or the person and the environment that involves the activity or the task. So if you want to overcome procrastination, then it is crucial that you become aware what you are feeling when you start to procrastinate doing something. Have you perhaps been pushed too hard in the past to accomplish certain goals? Or were people's expectations of your efforts so high, right? It was too high for you now to reach it. And of course, it's going to make you feel like a failure. Wouldn't we all feel like that? Sounds familiar to some of you, right? Now, another angle to this is maybe, for example, are you recovering from a recent burnout due to working too hard or too much, or giving a certain task, way too much of your energy? And the reasons and the possibilities as to why we procrastinate, it's endless. But one of them that keeps coming back up is especially when I work with my clients and my students, is that they've made a negative association with a certain task or a goal that they are trying to achieve. So here now, if you have a past negative association with a goal or a task that you are supposed to be doing, then yes, of course, right? Of course, your unconscious mind is going to try to steer you away from the activity, because it will most likely bring up all negative feelings and emotions that you felt when you executed a task, or whether it be, for example, trying to achieve a goal or living up to someone's expectations in regards to studies or creative work. A very popular type of procrastination is when you need, for example, a thrill by doing something last minute. Now, I would call these, for example, people procrastination junkie addicts, in the moderate sense of the word though. Now, this pattern would actually normally start when a person was placed under a lot of pressure, or a lot of pressure to get things done in the past. So they start to associate now starting a task with panic, with anxiety, fear, and punishment. And when they finally get to do the task in the last minute, the outcome, meaning the emotional reward, it rewards them then with the freedom of the impeding subconscious threat. Let me explain. Let's say that you had a parent who pressured you a lot, right? Or even just punished you when you completed the task and it wasn't, say, either good enough or you made a mistake. You start to associate executing a task with the pressure and the panic and the anxiety from a parent's actions towards you. And then also, of course, the possible consequences if you get the task wrong. So here you have an unresolved emotional pattern that keeps being triggered in your subconscious mind every time now when you need to complete an important task. And your subconscious mind starts to panic. And this panic can now turn into a thrill because consciously you know that the impeding threat, in this case, the reaction of a parent, is absent, which in hindsight is a part of you that actually anticipates the punishment or the pressure from a parent. So that's the subconscious programming. Now, which actually, as you know, is a past memory. However, in this pattern, it is so strongly layered into your subconscious mind that your actions and your reactions toward a task remain the same, even though you have no conscious memory of the root cause of your stress responses that are activated in the present moment. So having said all of this, you can also go through the online healing course for beating procrastination on my premium site at evetterosepremium.com. Now let's look at 10 steps to help you to call your power back from procrastination. Step 1. Stop trying to throw yourself into the deep end when you start a project. You no longer have to impress the people whose expectations you're still trying to exceed. You are now your own person. You have now your own standards. And if you don't have your own values and standards, then now would be a good time to establish what they are and break this cycle. Step 2. If you have self-worth blocks coming up, especially when trying to complete a goal, then explore where is this stemming from? Who or what circumstances made you feel that way? And then resolve it then. Because this deep underlying stress or trauma could actually be holding you back from really stepping into your fullest potential. And if you know what that block is, then I would highly recommend that you go through my free online healing guided session at www.guidedhealingsession.com. Step 3. If you don't have a clear goal and plan or action as to how you're going to accomplish that, especially that task or that goal, then you have a perfect recipe for procrastination. Be clear on what you want. How do you want to achieve it? And what the outcome should be and feel like and look like. Step 4. An important lesson that I've learned personally, especially with creative work, is that you cannot be the creator and the editor at the same time. Be creative, let it flow, have fun, and then afterwards be the editor and correct what you don't like. Step 5. Always have a time limit and also a reward for when you finish the task. It's so much more fun when you do something when you know that there's going to be something fun waiting for you. Step 6. Find out what time of the day you are most productive and then do the most challenging task or at least the most less pleasurable task during that time. For example, I normally like to do unpleasant tasks first thing in the morning, right? Regardless of what time of the day even it is as well. Even let's say, for example, I sleep until 2 o'clock if I was traveling and I'm jet lagged. So for me, my first thing in the morning task would then be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I always do it first thing in the morning when I have the mental clarity and the energy for it. Step 7, change the look and the feel of your environment, right? So that it resonates with you. Because you are also now, for example, unable to play the music that motivates you or relaxes you. You should be able to do that. Or get a headset. Put certain little statues around you or little ornaments that gives you a good feeling, that reminds you of good times. Step 8, surround yourself with people who motivate you. And if you're not able to do that, then at least have these role models who inspire you. Have like a collage board on your computer or on your office wall or as your desktop saver, right? Especially if you have an office or a private space where you can do your creative work. Because really, there is no way that you can create the level of success that you want through procrastination. Anyone who has ever created massive success has broken through their procrastination and they took action. And if, for example, if they can do that, then of course so can you. Step 9, know where and what your emotional limits are. Meaning, what are your boundaries in terms of what you are going to be doing? What are you willing to do and what are you not willing to do? Now, who also, for example, how far are you willing to stretch yourself, especially without affecting your quality of life? If there's something about your goal or task that you just really don't like, guys, then delegate or do an energy exchange with someone that can help you with that. Start to work smarter instead of harder. So step 10, love yourself enough to say no or to delegate where you feel you need support. Learn to ask for support. And if that's a problem for you, then you will love my self-love online healing course, also on the premium site. So guys, there you have it. Keep asking all these great questions and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on a different channel, you can go to evetterose.com and keep asking these great questions. And until next time, be the light that you are.